Hello.
Hello. It's us. We're here, live on the internet with a map. This is obviously GutPunchRP. Welcome. We are playing the Blighted North D&D 5e campaign. And this is starting up on, what is this, Twitch episode 3? I think it's YouTube episode 5, either or. But welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. GutPunchRP is a charity TTRPG streaming channel, and our charity for this quarter, I guess we're calling it, is the Transgender Law Center, which you can type !charity or !donate into the chat. Charity will tell you more about them, give you a link to their website, and donate is if you want to enter our Tiltify thing to win cute plushies. An adorable owl bear and a tentacle kitty are part of that packet. What?
And we've raised $45 so far.
I'm working on it. Let's get a little bit higher. Let's get up there. There's going to be other packages added to the pot when we hit certain increments, which we should actually tweet about or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're doing stuff. We're doing our best. Anyway, the Blighted North. Welcome once again. As you can see, they're in the middle of some shit. But let's start. Well, let's start with going around and introducing ourselves. I know how this works. I am Kai. I am the GM. You can find me at Kyla Creative on various social medias and internet places. Yeah, I am your GM tonight, and thank you for stopping by. Let's go to D.
Oh, hello, my lovely children of the dark. My name is D, and I will be playing Patches. Both of our pronouns are anything that makes you feel great. And I'm going to pass it over to, or down to, Jess.
Oh, that's me. Hi, I'm Jess or Jessica. You can find me on the things and the stuff as Dr. Psych Owl, except for on Twitter where I'm Dr. Psych Owl TV. I will be playing Maathea the Goliath, Cleric, Forge Domain, all that fun stuff. And yeah, I'll pass it over to C.
Hey y'all, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. And tonight I have the absolute pleasure of playing Solar, who uses they, he pronouns, who is a ranger, dragonborn ranger. I feel like I've never once actually said all of what Solar is and does in the same sentence. I feel like I'm always forgetting like at least one important thing, but I think I did it that time. So I will pass it over to Zach.
I am Zach. I go by he, him pronouns. I am the gaming author everywhere that I can be on the internet, and I am playing the half-elf armor artificer, Zaedrin Moonforge, who had a bit of a moment in the last session, and I am absolutely terrified of where that moment is going to lead tonight.
All right, well, let's let the moment begin with a little recap. Last time the party was venturing through the forest. The forest was unnaturally dark for the time of day it was and how few leaves were on the trees. They gathered that might be a magical thing that's happening. They were also absolutely hounded by various creatures of the forest who were not necessarily operating with their own instincts intact, I guess would be a way to say it. But, you know, they made it through to what you're seeing on the screen, managing to get a long rest, which, with how many things I had to make sure that you took points of exhaustion, was impressive. But that gets you here well rested and absolutely terrified. Well, at least 3 of you are terrified. Everyone but Maathea currently has the frightened condition from hearing an absolutely blood-curdling howl from not exactly right behind them, but much closer than they would like it to be. They're also seeing what's on your screen. They are looking down from up on a hill into a little bit of a dip in the landscape. And in the middle of that dip in the landscape is a pile of what is definitely a melange of dead fleshes. can't really tell what it is from here, but you know it's not the best thing that you're gonna see today, and it's already been a bad day. There's a few like crows sitting on it that look very much kind of sickly. They're a little patchy, they have a little bit of ichor, and they're just kind of like pecking at this pile of stuff. And then they look up at you, having heard this howl and seeing you come over, and they just kind of quirk, pick a few more times, and fly off into the woods. And it's about that time, entering from this direction. I'll just do one of these little guys, just dragging something to add to the pile. The thing that you can see is a just scary little guy who makes his way slowly up to here, drops something in the pile, and turns to look at you and snarls. You can start with initiative there. Just a little guy. He's just a cute little guy. And there's just like one of them, right?
I'm sure there will only be one continually throughout
Yeah,
this
definitely.
entire session.
Also,
sure, for
just
sure.
like huge shout out to Kai for this, because the camera perspective on this map is
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, also thank you to you for having random equipment for lighting stuff, and thank you to Amber for the camera with the little swivelly neck. So let's see everyone. Team effort. Team effort. I need two of those.
Right, I'm supposed to be rolling initiative. That's
Yeah, yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's real. I was just staring at the map. I got it.
Also good. Hey. So, you can just go around. There's only for you.
Which is appropriate because I rolled a 4.
Okay, good. That's solid.
Nice. Patches has a 12.
I too have a 12.
I
Hired.
rolled an 18.
Nice. Who has the higher dex between Patches and Maathea?
I assume Patches.
I have a +2.
Yes, Patches.
I know how to do math. That's right here. Doo-doo. Oh, hey. So you've just heard this howl just crack the air around you, and you aren't really seeing anything. There's nothing coming at you from the front. You assume the howl came at you from behind. And just as you're trying to like think about this and just pinpoint everything, and three of you are absolutely seized up with just that sort of like all the hairs on your body are standing up, and you just ugh. Something is out there watching you, and with that, I am going to go ahead and just let's get this off. Oh, with that's definitely not gonna hit. Wow, this is gonna be a long fight if this is how it's gonna be. Y'all are safe, but as you are standing up on this ridge, Patches, you just hear and feel like the whiff of claws absolutely coming out for your back. And you turn to look. And there's nothing there right now. You definitely felt something. You definitely heard something. Right now, you are not seeing anything. And that'll bring us to Solar.
Solar is frightened, so the first thing that I'm going to do is use my movement to like start charging down the hill away from whatever this feeling is. And I think the way that this is manifesting for Solar, they have 30 feet of movement with Moon, and is like a kind of like deeply primal fear where like the fight or flight has gone off, and they're in flight mode, so they're just like automatically moving, and Moon underneath them feeling that kind of fear is also moving, almost with like a kind of like blind terror as they're like charging forward at this skeleton pile wolf thing that's down in the pit below, and Solar is just gonna move all the way. And if they are up to that thing or within 10 feet of it, they're gonna like almost like just charge it and take a swing at it with their lance if they can.
You are within 5 feet of it. You're also within 5 feet of this pile of stuff. So you can go ahead and roll to attack.
Excellent. I will bonus action Hunter's Mark this thing, just like the immediate fear switches from flight to fight because this thing is in the way of flight. So that's gonna be a natural 1 for my first attack. And then let's see. Can I do math fast? Does a 14 hit?
I have to do stuff. Oh no. Does a 14 hit? 14 will hit that guy, yes.
Okay, so the nat 1 definitely doesn't hit, but with my extra d6 from Hunter's Mark on that thing, it's gonna be... I'm like, how do I play Dungeons & Dragons again? I feel like I've never been here before. 16 points of slashing damage as Solar just like charges right in, basically barrels into it. Like right up and into it.
You slam into this thing and kind of send it like sideways, and it just kind of barely catches its footing in the little bit of like slippery muck that's around this pile. That was like a hard hit for this little bony guy, and he is just kind of like turning, his mouth just covered in that like same black ichor and like dead stuff. And he just snarls at you and holds his ground. And I'm gonna have you make a Constitution saving throw.
Fear! A save for why?
Oh no.
Okay, a 16.
Alright, you save. You are very close to something that smells incredibly bad. And it just kind of does that thing where it kind of like hurts you a little bit to be this close to this pile of stuff. You know.
Understood.
Yeah. Alright, so that's your turn, Solar?
Yes, it is.
We have Patches then with Maathea on deck.
Fun. I am not frightened. Do I smell what tried to hit me? I don't see anything, but can I take a second to just like try and catch a whiff of something? Or is the stank in the valley too overpowering?
I would say you can try at disadvantage because it is a very overpowering smell in the valley.
Okay. Let's see. Well, this isn't gonna go well, kids. If you're watching at home, I just rolled a 4 and a 5 for a total of 9. So I don't think I smell it.
The curse is spreading.
This is going to be a very interesting night.
Yeah, no one rolls above a 5 ever. Yeah, you try and take like a deep breath to sort of like get your bearings using your sense of smell, and just kind of it smells so bad you almost like lose sight for a second. It's like a heinous situation going on down below you. And that's also where this like wind has been coming from, so it's
Gross.
killing the smell vibe a little bit.
How many feet away from where I'm standing is the dog-like creature?
It's about 45 to the pile, so another 10 to the dog if you go that way.
Okay, I can jump about 55 feet. That's fine. I'm going to use a bonus action to rage. And then I am going to use a... Oh, wait. Hold on, I have to read something. I'm so sorry. I forgot about a technicality. This is what happens when your character's nonsense.
That's fair.
Okay. I'm going to make a long jump from where I am.
Okay.
And because of my bestial soul feat, whenever I make a jump, I can make an athletics check and extend my jump the number of feet equal to the check's total. So with Patches being the height that they are, use a jump calculator for this because it's arduous otherwise. So I can jump 12 feet by myself, so let's say 10. And then I'm going to make this athletics check at advantage because I am raging. So Patches is going to jump 35 feet.
Okay.
Just as close as I can get to that dog.
I think it's getting you right next to Moon and Solar over here if you want to go that way.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you just absolutely cartoon superhero leap and 3-point landing. Right there, we'll kind of put you in the middle of those squares. Ready to throw down.
Fantastic. Am I within 10 feet of the dog from there? I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's about 10 feet.
Okay, my tail has reach, so I'm going to go ahead and make 2 attacks against that thing. First one will be reckless. Wow, that's a terrible roll. That's a 12? 12 hits?
No, 12 does not hit, sorry. I was
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I saw a nod.
Terrible
Like,
roll
okay.
solidarities.
Yeah, for sure. And then my second attack is a natural 20.
Okay, all right. So murder this dog, I guess.
Yeah, my criticals are not brutal yet, unfortunately, so this won't be that much damage, but that is 17 points of piercing damage from the tail.
All right. This dog that has already been hit is going to get impaled by your tail, and instead of pulling away as you would expect some animal that has a flight or fight response to do in this moment of injury, it is just kind of limp on your tail. You have killed this animal.
Oh, I think you're good.
I'll just slide it off of my tail and look up at Solar and say, "You need to get it together."
Solar looks uncharacteristically like they seem to hear your words because their head snaps to look at you, but they almost are looking through you. Like whatever kind of emotion they're feeling is something that they are unable to shake off. I think that becomes very clear to you very fast.
Sure. And that is my turn.
All right, so then we are on to Maathea, who currently does not see an enemy.
Was I able to notice that something swiped at Patches? Like, did Patches react to that? Or
I assume Patches would have ducked and look. You definitely saw Patches look behind them and take a giant inhale for like trying to smell for someone.
So if you would interpret it as such, then yes.
Well, because I can't see anything, but it's not uncharacteristic for Patches to just duck or make erratic motions, so...
True.
But not feeling like danger is completely done. Is everybody within 30 feet of me?
I think Patches might be just outside. Nope, exactly 30 feet. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and cast a 2nd level bless so that I can bless everybody, including myself.
Good call, good call. There's a +4 for everyone.
If I can find my mouse, I will. There we go. All right. And yeah, I'll call down and be like, "Do you see any more of those things down there?"
Nothing yet.
No, but there's something wrong. There's something very, very wrong.
And do you need me to come and help you, or?
Solar's just kind of shouting as I think Moon is like roaring and pacing back and forth. And they just kind of, like an NPC like repeat. They're just like, we need to get out of here. Like again, it just comes again.
Any movement, Maathea?
Yeah, I think with Solar starting to panic, Maathea would at minimum kind of like maybe split the difference, go hang out by that tree stump that's right in front of the rock in front of me.
Down by the tree stump.
Yeah.
All right. With Maathea having gone, and this wolf has just fallen to the ground dead, you hear more small howls around you, not as like terrifying as the big one, but rushing out of the woods from the same direction this other one came. Here comes another adorable wolf guy, and he clamps down. Will attempt to clamp down, see what happens, on Patch's arm.
Does have advantage.
Oh, because you're... Ooh. 17 to hit?
17 hits.
Okay, alright. So this guy is going to be doing his bite, and that will be 10 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then can I get you to make a strength saving throw?
I certainly can. Oh god, I'm clicking everything. Strength save. Okay. Advantage because I'm raging. That is a 16.
All right. He shakes his head, trying to obviously throw you to the ground, but you are able to keep your footing. And as he sort of releases his grasp on your arm, he just fades away into the shadows of this dark and gloomy little bit of forest. And then, coming from about the same direction, but around this little rock right here, we get another one of these guys who will rush Maathea, just with slavering jaws, snapping at you and trying to hit. For a... Ooh, this will actually hit. 23 to hit, right?
Meets it, beats it.
Take this, Maathea. It's going to be 10 points of piercing damage. And then I will need you to make this strength saving throw as well.
That'll only be a 13.
Okay. You also won't be knocked prone. It was a 13. Beats it. Had to say it in my head. So it again is just, it's clamped onto a little spot in between like plates of armor, and is just again trying to pull you to the ground. But you are a large, strong woman and just are like, no, bad dog. Normal accent. And then it
bad dog. Don't make me go get the banjo.
Oh, but they've scattered. Those dogs also got scared and were like, swoop. But it will also disappear into this misty, dark forest around you. And then he's just one more cute little baby guy. But he is coming from the opposite direction and won't be able to make it to anyone, but he will race in visible, like sort of just slavering jaws, like making weird little bark sounds. But then he too, as he can't reach anyone, will just kind of fade into nothing. And that brings us to Zaedrin,
who is presently cursing up a storm in the most creative ways possible as he just dashes for the tallest tree on the left.
This side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll say you get to like there-ish.
Okay. Well, I mean, like that was using my action to dash.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, you can
and-
make it to that tree.
And if possible, start climbing.
Yeah, we'll say you can definitely get up into the first set of branches fairly easily because you are very scared, and those are low branches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just pure fight or flight. Everything is wrong. All of this is awful. Ah!
You all have just seen Zaedrin jump off this rock and just pell-mell race for this tree and clamber up about like 7-8 feet into the thick branches that make the bottom up. Any bonus actions, Zaedrin?
Not presently.
Okay, alright. Zaedrin is currently safe in a tree away from ground wolves. And with that, we come back to the top of the round, and that will be racing in behind Maathea, clambering over this hill and landing. There is a giant one of these wolves, but more scary, more spiky. It has huge horns, and the horns are just sort of dripping with like black ichor, like almost everything else here. It's more bipedal than the other ones. It has these long claws on the front of its hands, and it is kind of giving off that same gross, rotting odor as the pile in front of you. And it will go ahead and try and hit Maathea now that it is visible and terrified. That one, neither of those will hit, because of course not, why would they? 19 was the highest it rolled. So it just takes a huge swipe at you with one claw, and with its horns then tries to just throw you away with its head. And then whiffing both of those, it too is just going to disappear as it makes a howling sound. And that'll bring us back to Solar. You see nothing? The big boy is also what frightened you, so that moved closer to you.
Uh-huh. Horrifying. Solar, I think, like, starting to reach the, like, edge of their panic. I think they'll, like, move again further almost past the pile, just away from wherever that thing was. Yeah,
So, like,
just
here?
past it and away. Like, they're gonna keep charging out of this kind of pit in the ground. Why can't I remember the word pit? Here we are. And I think, like, as Moon is running, like, as Solar is almost becoming, like, overstimulated by the fear, they, like, dig their fingers into Moon's fur and, like, just press themselves flat against her so that their face is in, like, kind of the rough of her neck fur. And I'm gonna use Beast Sense to I touch a willing beast, and for the duration of the spell, I can use my action to see through the beast's eyes and hear what it sees and continue to do so. Because I think that Moon gives Solar a sense of bravery that they don't have on their own. So they, like, connect with Moon and look around, like, with her eyes, with her nose, with her senses, to see if there's any way that they can almost, like, since animals have a better sense of smell, to be able to, like, pick through this horrid rot to find the source of that creature, because Solar is so very scared of it. That's what I'll do for my turn.
If you're looking for the big one, it's too far away to, like, for Moon to get a good scent, but just based on what Moon's seen thus far in the woods, they are able to kind of focus in the space directly around them and realize that there's nothing closer to them than there's nothing in close proximity to them that is a danger right this exact second. Makes sense.
Understood. In that case, Solar lifts their head up, and their eyes, I think, have glossed over to look like Moon's, like they have a pair of bear eyes staring out of their face now. And they take a javelin, like, from their back and just, like, ready it to throw at anything that is going to appear out of this mist, if it does at any point.
Okay, that sounds good. So then we are, sorry, I was like, there's someone else in there. So if that's Solar's turn, we are on to Patches.
Patches doesn't see anything to kill. So, Patches is gonna inspect the meat pile because that was the last thing that something that they wanted to kill touched.
Okay, we'll get you close to the meat pile. Are you like looking for anything specific? Or are you just trying to get like a meat pile vibe check?
Anything that catches my eye, I'm just going to like dog in a dirt pile, just clawing through it, throwing chunks aside.
Absolutely disgusting. I mean, roll a perception check.
Sure. That is a 17.
Okay, 17. As you are like scooping through here, it is a lot of stuff that it seems a little bit older. So it's been here for a while. It's been decomposing. It kind of has that like hot compost bin thing going on. What you're seeing though also is that it's animals. Like it seems like it is almost entirely made up of forest creatures. And that could be part of the reason why it is just dead silent around here, except for these wolves.
Patches is just going to like wipe their hands on the snow and go, gross. And that's I would assume that was my action to dig through the meat pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that is my turn.
Can I get you to make a Constitution saving throw?
I sure can.
You are elbow deep in viscera.
Constitution save. Is this a poison effect?
It is indeed a poison effect.
Oh, then I have advantage, which is good because I rolled a 6. So with advantage, that is a 21.
Yeah, you again, it's just like that smell that nearly blinds you as you're just flinging bits of stuff back behind you and over your shoulder. And you gather that maybe this pile is not something you want to be touching. It might be a little diseasey. So there's that. That's that fun fact.
Don't dig around in the giant pile of yuck.
Sound advice.
Indeed, that is sound advice. I was not actually planning on digging around in yuck.
Good. That is a good idea.
All right, if that is Patch's turn, we are on to Maathea.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so I don't see anything around here. What I'm going to do is I will bonus action spiritual weapon.
Okay, go spiritual weapon, and where would you like to plop that?
Let's plop it in between that other stump and Patches.
Okay. And does a spiritual weapon give off light at all?
That is a good question.
It seems like a radiant thing to do.
No, it's just spectral, and it does force damage, not radiant, so...
Okay. All right, well, you have summoned that right there. Is there something else you're up to?
Yes, I would like to hold my action, which would be an attack with my mace, in case anything comes into my melee range.
Okay.
And that would be it.
All right. So, then we have immediately appearing in your melee range, but around on your other side, that little guy who is probably the same one who bit you before, if you want to attack him.
I would love to attack him. Maybe even hit him with a 22.
Okay, yeah, you will absolutely bonk this little fella right in his little face.
And he will take 9 points of bludgeoning damage plus an additional 7 points of fire damage as I divine strike it.
Okay. How do you do math? 16. Okay, cool. All right, and then he will yelp in pain as his little like glowing eyes just sort of flicker for a second, and then he will try to bite you. Did I do that right? I feel like I did that wrong. Now it's not advantage. No, it's backpack and stuff. Oh wow, I rolled really poorly. Yeah, so he has just been smacked in his side and sort of crunches sideways and tries to recover and come back and sort of snap at you again in like that same little weak spot where there's not as much armor, and absolutely just whiffs it, as these guys have been known to do in the past 30 seconds. And he'll kind of let out this like indignant, like when dogs snap their teeth together when they're like, I want something very badly. We'll do that, and then again disappear into this dark forest mist. There's more of those guys. I got like 3 more. So this one over here will again reappear, and then since Patches is distracted, just leap at Patches' back and try and attack you. I believe in dice. Ooh, 17 hits.
17 hits.
Okay, so they are going to clamp their jaws down upon you, and it will be the 10 points of piercing damage. And if I can get you to make the strength saving throw, please.
Also, don't forget you're blessed.
I am blessed. That's so true. So advantage in a d4. That is a 25. On the strength save?
Yes, that absolutely saves. That's my job to say things save now. Yeah, I'm the DM. Yes, 25 will save. So this wolf is just going to come down and grab sort of onto like the top of your tail and just try and shake its head. And it's going to do that damage, but obviously is not going to be able to pull over the very strong Patches. And then it will disappear again into that mist as it also makes that sort of indignant snapping sound with its jaws. And there's one more guy, and they were... No, that's all for now. That's a different mechanic. Never mind. Don't mind me. That will bring us to Zaedrin, who is in a tree being very brave.
And he is going to continue by being very brave by casting Spider Climb on himself and climbing, say, another 20 feet up the tree.
Yeah, you are at like the apex of the big, thick part of this tree. I would say you can't really go any higher. It's the top of the tree. So
Which was
you
the
are
plan from the beginning.
you are definitely probably safe from anything but that crow that is sitting like one tree over and just gives you a look.
I look back at him like, what? Don't judge me.
It makes very judgy crow noises. Just kind of clicks its beak a few times and quirks.
And yeah, that's movement action. I don't have any relevant bonus actions, so I'm just gonna keep my eyes open up here and play Overwatch.
Perfect. All right, so that brings us back to the top of initiative, where once again, there is a whole lot of nothing, it seems like, on the board. But with that same clicking of jaws, this big boy will appear behind Maathea again. And this time it will go, that's not what I want. It will go ahead and, where'd this thing go? Again, let out a terrifying howl. So that will be a wisdom saving throw. For everyone in the clearing, including Zaedrin in his safe tree.
That would be 26.
Okay, here we go.
Dirty 20.
18 this time.
A 4 is not going to make the extra D4 is not going to make a difference on a 7.
I mean, roll it.
All right. Let's see how this goes. God's willing, I roll a 4.
Yeah.
2. So a total of 9.
No, it will not help you in this case. So you are still very scared. This thing is closer to you than it was, but you also can't go any more in the direction away from it that you have chosen to go, which is up, I guess. But with that, the people who were frightened are no longer frightened, since now you have kind of seen through this ruse of terrifying howls. It will take its one other thing that it can do and try and gore you with its horns, Maathea. What number is that? Oh, okay. 19 plus 5. 24.
That does indeed hit.
Okay. It's impossible to see. Okay, so it is going to do 13 points of piercing damage. And then will you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
It's only an 11.
Oh,
Wait. I forgot. I am blessed.
Yes, also blessed.
It is a 13.
So close. So very close. But you will fail this Constitution saving throw, and you are poisoned. While poisoned in this way, the target is also paralyzed. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of your next turn.
Paralyzed means that I just can't move, correct? I can take actions and bonus actions.
Let me look at paralyzed creature is incapacitated and can't move or speak. The creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Any attack that hits the creature is critical if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
Dear.
I should have read that. That's devastating. Also, maybe not, because you can say.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So, does he have... he's gonna feeling very confident in himself, having just gored you a little bit. He's just going to grab that tree trunk and let out a normal kind of wolf howl and just stay there. And that'll be the big boy's turn. And now, Solar, you're up.
Solar, now being able to see through Moon's eyes, I think that fear like washes off of them and they kind of realize where they are. Do a quick like spin and spiral, seeing this thing like right on Maathea. And they are going to get like, they're going to move forward and up, back past Patches again. Like going past and like, doing like a nice like sidelong look at Patches, like checking in to make sure that they're okay as they go past. And you can see like kind of the clarity back in their face a little bit more clearly.
As you go past, Patches goes, "Finally!"
Sorry, didn't know what that was. This is fucked up. And they are gonna like, as they're on their way going right past Patches, they are going to let go of that javelin, and have it like, you know, sail right past Maathea towards this wolf thing.
Right.
And that is probably not gonna hit with a 10.
That will miss, yes. So your
But
javelin
I do
just
have a
kind of sails.
I have a second attack.
Okay.
Sorry. It's like we run into the door at the same time. Go ahead, please.
The javelin sails past Maathea and just under this wolf's arm and kind of sticks into that snowbank behind, unless it's like a magical comeback one, and will have to be retrieved.
That's fine. It's a big thorn now. Hopefully it'll fall on it. But good old Solar has a second one, so They take out the other and send that sailing, which is going to be a much more decent roll at a 16.
That will hit, yes.
Excellent. And I'm going to bonus action Hunter's Mark that thing. So it'll take 2d6. So that is going to be 9 points of piercing damage total.
Okay. So yeah, you throw the other javelin and it just kind of slams into it, and it sort of looks at it as it's sticking out of its shoulder, just pulls it out and drops it. So they're both pretty much right there for you to bravely go and pick up, I guess. But yeah, he has taken a little bit of damage and has seen you throwing things at him. So, mixed bag. All right. If that is all, we have Patches.
Patches finally sees something to murder. I want to jump over to that feller.
All right.
Yeah, just gonna jump. No other extra sauce. So I can jump from a standstill. I can clear 15 feet, and I'm gonna go I can go an additional fucking 20, so I can reach him. I can go 35 feet with a standing jump. So I will land.
Where
Go ahead.
around him would you like to land? Was the
I want to be behind that stump.
Okay, so kind of pretty much where the javelins fell, you will hop and land with your feet on either side of one of them, the other one sticking out. But that is where you will get with this guy.
Wonderful. And as I sail out of the air, I will come down screaming on it and make a reckless attack.
All right.
I rolled a 2 and a 1 with advantage. So for my second attack, that is a 17 to hit.
17 will hit, yes.
Okay. And that is 10 points of piercing damage.
Hey. Anything else, Patches?
No.
Said with confidence.
Yeah.
Then we will go to Maathea.
So because I already have my spiritual weapon on the board, I would like to move it to this monster and have it take a hit.
I just right there's spiritual weapon, and it will go bonk, hopefully.
Hopefully, we will see. 18 for the bonk.
It will bonk at 18, yep.
Excellent. It takes 5 points of force damage.
All right.
And I believe that is all I can do on my turn, other than at the end repeat the save.
Yes. Which I forgot stuff, didn't I?
Yeah,
Go ahead and repeat that save. It's fine.
it's a con.
Yes,
Correct.
Constitution.
That would be a 4.
Okay, so
Okay.
you are still paralyzed, hanging out there. Just you made this swing, and then you kind of like lock up again, kind of like the dancing dolls in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Very
Nice
cute.
reference.
Where it's like what I imagine when people lock up. So
I
you
can't believe I understood that reference.
Yes, it was like a terrifying part of that weird ass movie. Anything else, Maathea?
That's it.
All right. So as you have then once again frozen up after taking a swing at this guy and also doing the spiritual weapon, this one, who hasn't really moved, is still right in front of you. So you are pincered between these two wolves with their big skull heads, just glowing eyes staring down at you. And let me read this real quick. This little fella, sorry that I'm like not on camera, is going to go ahead and attack you at advantage because you're paralyzed. You're also flanked, I guess. Oh, come on, dice. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. It was a natural 20. But it also has this other thing with the paralyzed. Yeah, no, it's also a critical. Okay, so the natural 20 is going to be... Sorry. The full amount of the die plus a roll, which will be 12, 15... 25 points of piercing damage as it finds that sweet spot between the plates of armor as you are just standing there frozen in mid-strike, and it clamps down. And also with that, because you are paralyzed, it will automatically knock you prone. So we now have Maathea getting, I guess, ripped apart by dogs. That's prone. Don't get hurt, Maathea, you're fine. Alright. And this thing will use its bonus action and again go invisible. But it is still in its invisible form, sort of like tearing at your legs, so didn't really go anywhere. And that will be its turn. The one that was over... I'll put these guys in the dark. The one that was over here bothering Patches had moved under here and will appear under this tree that Zaedrin is high in the branches of and do the thing where it just like puts his paws up on this tree and just scrapes its claws down it. As it sees that it can't get you, it'll then turn away and move, that's less than its movement, move to here. And it's gonna try and bite Moon's leg. I feel bad even saying it, but it's gonna go for the giant bear.
Bring it on. She's got a pretty fine AC. She doesn't have that great an AC, but it's okay.
We'll scoot. No, we'll just leave him. That's fine. That'll be 19 to hit.
That does hit.
Alright, so this thing turns from the tree and just makes a beeline for Moon as fast as it can and clamps down on the polar bear's like gigantic back leg. It'll do the 10 points of piercing damage. And I guess Moon will also make a strength saving throw.
You got it. She has a 20 strength because she's stronger than I am. 21.
Okay, yeah, this is, like, Moon is still kind of, like, mid-stride, and as this dog bites down on the leg, the dog just starts going with the leg, and moves a few feet forward, but then Moon realizes that they are being bitten and stops. So that will be its turn, but as it realizes that this is a very strong bear, it will disappear again into the mist of the forest. So that was that guy, that's the two of them. Alright, so you have this scrum happening around Maathea, and that one that just bit Moon just disappeared, and now we are on to Zaedrin's turn.
So, I'm still frightened of the big guy, correct?
Yes, because you failed that other saving throw.
Okay. Well, shit. Okay, this is bad. This is not good. I am going to... Oh, I have a bad idea and I have a worse idea, but I'm not sure which is which.
Do it.
Always do the bad idea.
God, y'all just hear Zaedrin scream out, "I am so sorry, y'all!" And I cast Shatter, just basically right on top of Maathea.
Oh. Rip.
Well, Shatter's a con save, right?
Mm-hmm. DC
So Maathea,
16 con save.
At least you don't auto-fail it.
Yep.
Get the roll.
It was a nat 1.
Oh, little buddy.
See, God, you got to roll higher than that though, or
Yeah.
you end up taking the damage.
Like the rules now. Come on.
That is a 21, so patches.
So, everybody who saves takes 11 points of thunder damage. Everybody who doesn't takes 22.
Saves, don't I? What was
Solar
the save?
fails.
It was 16.
Constitution. Yeah, DC 16.
Okay. They both rolled
Save.
natural 16s.
I would like to use my reaction to use the spell Absorb Elements at 2nd level as this thunder damage hits Solar with a failed save. And you could see like kind of the thunder like turning into lightning as it like crawls up their scales and they get on Moon's back.
And you said how much damage?
22 on a fail, 11 on a success.
All right. Anything else from Zaedrin in the tree?
Do I get to repeat the save against frightened, or is that just a static until it goes away thing?
It's probably the end of the turn. Let me read what I'm supposed to know. It is... yeah, end of each turn.
Okay,
So
so
that'll
I will
be
go ahead.
the wisdom saving throw.
Are you... Okay. I rolled a 3.
Oh. Zaedrin's not having a good time. Just seeing this gigantic, slavering deer wolf abomination hybrid situation. You're just clinging to the top of the tree, not enjoying your time in this creepy forest. With that, it'll be that big boy with horns turn, who is not loving that he is surrounded, but also has Maathea down on the ground in front of him, and is going to go ahead and bite you, which will just be it'll just automatically hit because you're on the ground, right? This is how things work.
It would be rolled at advantage because it's a melee attack against a prone enemy.
Okay.
It auto hits when I'm on my death saves, which I'll be on soon.
Okay, well, both of these miss, or it just misses as it tries to drive its claws down into the ground around you and onto you. But as it does that, it's also turning its head, and its horns come around and try and gore Patches this time. So it is going to. No, that's not an advantage. 17 to hit? Yes.
I am going to remember how to play this goddamn game and use my reaction to parry with my tail and roll a d8 to raise my AC. Because I've been forgetting I could do that. So my AC is 19 for the purposes of this attack. So it misses.
Oh. Okay. So it has missed both of these attacks, and it just kind of has one of its horns tangled up in a little bit of your tail and pulls it away, and then it too will go ahead and just disappear from the board. It is going to try and move away if y'all want to make disadvantaged attack rolls, as you see these gigantic footprints just kind of appear in this dirty snow as it moves away.
I rolled a 9 and a 4.
I rolled pretty well, but then both disadvantages I rolled a 2 for Moon and Solar.
Maathea's just down on the ground. I don't know if you want to swipe.
Well, she can't take reactions.
can't.
She's paralyzed.
There you go. At least someone remembers the rules. That was a test.
Gotcha.
Right? All right. So as that one disappears and you see the footprints sort of like vanish into the mud and the ichor, that'll bring us to Solar's turn.
Solar is moving full steam ahead with an entire polar bear, and Moon is going to, wherever this thing is thrashing on Maathea's leg, Moon is just like all claw, all teeth, like barrels down on it as Solar's gonna like jump up and over to get like on basically the other side of Maathea to do a spell on their turn. But first, Moon is gonna try to tear apart. Yeah, we're gonna hit something. We're gonna try to hit something here. Moon. Should I roll at disadvantage for the invisible wolf for Moon?
I mean, the invisible one was behind you, if I'm remembering correctly, right? It was coming from that way.
Whichever one is on Maathea's leg right now.
Oh, that guy's not invisible. He's just hanging out.
Okay, well, in that case, that is a 21 to hit with Moon.
That will absolutely hit as Moon just barrels into this creature.
Okay, well, that is going to be 12 points of piercing damage as Moon clamps down and starts thrashing this thing in her big giant polar bear mouth.
All right. As Moon just slams into this thing, it sort of like gets pushed away. It moves a few feet. It takes a little bit of Maathea leg with it, but it falls limp as it is just being gored to death by Moon.
And Solar gives, still kind of like seeing through Moon's eyes, at least like they blink once and one of their eyes is still like Moon's as that spell kind of starts to dispel. As they turn down to Maathea and seeing, I don't know, like 3 different open wounds, like draws snow up in their hands and presses down onto her body. And I'm going to cast Nature's Balm, which is going to give you 3d8 HP back because I don't want you to die. That's going to be 18 points of 18 HP back to you as Solar's eyes kind of like flare and glow like with a little bit of sunlight, I think, as they like press the snow down onto you and it melts into like this cool, soothing, healing water. And that is going to be my turn.
As that light sort of flares up and just like travels onto Maathea and also bursts out a smidge, you do see a few like pairs of like glowing eyes as these wolves are moving around you. But with that will then bring us to Patches with Maathea on deck.
Well, Patches is going to use however much movement is necessary to pick Maathea up so that she is on her feet and not prone anymore. I will commit an action to that if I need to. Just stand her up so she's no longer prone is what I'm trying to do.
I feel like that's an action.
Sure. I'll do it.
I mean, other DMs can chime in, but I just feel like picking someone up and like standing them and dusting them off. Action.
Sure. Works for me. And
all right, still have movement and bonus action.
Then with a bonus action, Patches will sort of like crouch down and say, "We need to be able to see it. How can we see it when it does this?" And I will expend a key point to activate my patient defense. The tail goes into sentry mode with the blade, and I will take the dodge action. And when I take the dodge action, I will restore. Oh, that's fun. I will restore 32 hit points to myself.
Jeez Louise.
All the wounds sort of like stitch back together as Patches is looking around, crouched toward the ground.
I mean, fantastic. All right, and then that'll bring us to Maathea.
At the end of my turn, I get a 19 on my Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, you just sort of shake your head and
I shake my head and I kind of let out this like primal guttural roar, and then like as loud as I can clang my mace against my shield and be like, okay, now we see who fights fairer. I don't know, fuck you all, come on, quit hiding.
all right.
Solar just kind of goes, "Good to see you again," and like turns, draws their weapon too.
Also, thank you. I couldn't say it before because like I was paralyzed.
Glad to see our healer is actually up, and also our tank, and also our fists, and also our mace.
All the things. All right, with Maathea done, this wolf that had disappeared over here will go back, and seeing that Moon just killed its buddy, is going to again attack Warboot. The natural 20.
That's hitting. Yeah, no, that's hitting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Moon. That'll be. What was it before? 25? Yeah, 25. How's
She's
Moon?
got 3 hit points left, but she's still standing.
Okay, good. I did. Okay, good. With that, after biting Moon and just shaking its head, and then if like an evil dog could smile, this thing definitely smiles as it releases Moon's leg and disappears. And Moon can take a swipe if Moon wants, because it is going to move away. And that'll be at disadvantage.
Does a 17 hit?
A 17 will hit.
Oh, I'm so proud of her. Oh, my baby girl, my polar bear baby girl. Okay, that is going to be a handsome 8 points of damage, piercing damage, as Moon like snaps her jaws, where this thing had like turned and bit her. Just absolutely going at it.
Yeah, and Moon will definitely take a piece of like this kind of like tattery flesh that these animals have, and is just like, it's in their mouth, but the creature has been able to move away in its invisible creaturing. Which initiative go? Wow. Which means we are on to Zaedrin's turn. So you're not seeing anyone.
I can't see anyone. And I don't. Damn. Okay. What do I have in my bag of tricks to be useful?
If I may, I think maybe Solar calls up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Zaedrin, can you get us some light?
Maybe. Okay. It's in the bag. Shit.
Gotta check the inventory.
Like possessions, no. There's not a lot I can do for light. But what I can do... Okay. That's... Alright. You dogs want to play that fucking game? Let's play this game. I am... Since I still have spider climb up, I'm gonna climb back to the ground.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna cast Mirror Image on myself.
Okay.
So now, what you guys see is you see me climb to the bottom of the tree, stay there, and then my armor glows this weird sort of like arcane bluish purple, and then in a flash, 3 more of me burst into existence around me.
Alright, if you're staying on the ground, I'm gonna let you use these wolves as small Zaedrins that are around you. Wolves that are Zaedrin. Just for counting's sake, you know. Alright, so you have these 3 spectral forms around you just kind of like flickering very convincingly as extra Zaedrins. Anything else?
That's all I got for this movement in my action, and I don't have any useful bonus actions, so yeah. That's me for now.
Alright, okay, so you hear just the cracking of these huge paws on the ground as it is going to...
Oh, right, that's the fear save.
Oh, yes. That one.
Gee, where the hell did you go?
I like watched that fall.
Yeah, that was
Where
like,
does it-
didn't even make it in the dice tower.
Okay, I actually genuinely... No, wait, there it is. Okay, where's... Alright, I am freaking picturing this because... Fuck it, yeah, no, that's... Alright, D&D Beyond, I can't throw you in dice jail, but I swear to God. 15!
Okay, yeah, as these 3 forms appear around you, you are just like imbued with the bravery of knowing that it is very unlikely that anything is going to touch you right now.
Damn right.
And all of you are immune from being frightened by this creature for 24 hours now. So there's that. Alright, and then we are back to it being this big boy's turn, and he is going to go ahead, and as he had moved away, he didn't go far. He just kind of is now up on top of, please stay, up on top of this rock up above you all right now, and just will swipe down at Solar, who had flipped over and looked so cool in the air, and he's like, not on my watch, and will swipe out at you. Well, I don't know when that would be an advantage. For 22 to hit.
That will be hitting me, absolutely.
All right, and that's not the damage. Sorry, that'll be 10 points of piercing damage on that one, as it just clamps its jaws down upon you from above. And as it's holding your shoulder, it will kind of toss its head, and its horns, which are much longer, will drive at Maathea as it makes... Yeah, that looks right. Drive at Maathea as it tries to attack her with its head horns, which is also not an advantage. 22 to hit.
That will not hit.
All right, it just tosses its head, and the horns scrape off your armor, leaving a smear of that black ichor, as this one will then again disappear, and you hear it scrambling off of the rock and off to somewhere, which I think Solar and... I think you have reach patches? I don't know. No, I think it's just Solar. Can make an opportunity attack on that guy at disadvantage because he is invisible.
I don't think an 11's gonna do it for me.
It shan't hit. Yeah, but that will be your turn now after you have tried to swipe at this guy as he just bit you in the head.
Understood. Let's see. Hold on, I need to read something. Da-da-da-da-da. So I did Hunter's Mark this guy. I'm reading my ranger spells for the first time, which is so cool of me. I do have advantage on wisdom, perception, and survival checks to find it. So I think Solar is like scanning, trying to figure out where it's gone now that it's invisible, looking for tracks in the snow, looking for like the direct spin of the mist to try to see if they could get a hit on it, wherever they are, or to try to see if there's some way that they can find it.
Yeah, if you want to roll a survival check and we'll see what you find.
Yeah. Okay, that was not good. 2 and a 1 for that good old advantage. Thank you,
Oh.
Hunter's Mark.
Yep, so
I tried.
you sort of, your head like that has just been clamped in the mouth of this monster sort of is snapping around looking for any of the marks that it would be leaving if you were trailing it. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of your own blood kind of pouring into your eyes and you are unable to pinpoint exactly where this critter went.
Understood. With that case, I think knowing that it's around but not knowing exactly where it is, Solar will back up and try to get to Moon as fast as they can because they know that she is also hurting quite badly.
Yeah, you could get right over to Moon. You're going to get back onto Moon or just administer to
I'm actually just administer to them very protectively, I think, like looking around as much as possible.
Alright, yeah. Well, you're right there with them and you got your head on a swivel. Anything else?
That's it for my turn.
Right, and then we are on to Patches with Maathea on deck.
Hello. Patches, I just tried to move my mini like I'm in Roll20. Lord have mercy. Patches is going to get into the center of all those minis. In front of Maathea, next to the spiritual weapon, a little bit closer to the center, if possible. So I'm near my wounded polar bear friend.
The center of just the three of you. All right.
Yeah, sorry. And I am going to use an action to hold a tail attack, or if as soon as this thing appears, I would like to swing at it. Question.
Yes.
Can my held action, since it is not an opportunity attack, can that be reckless?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Yep,
Sounds
I'll
fair.
hold a reckless attack just if it appears. And that is my turn.
All right. So then we are on to Maathea, who is standing up and no longer poisoned. Feeling much better.
Looking around at my comrades, calling out, "How's everyone doing?"
Moon is hurt pretty bad. I'm okay.
You're okay, or are you hurt?
Solar looks at you and there's blood streaming down their face. They're at around half.
Okay. I use my bonus action and I cast Mass Healing Word at 4th level. So all of us, whoever needs it, gets 10 points.
Sick.
And that's my bonus action. For my action, I will hold a mace attack just in case if anything appears in my melee.
All right. With that, you hear the snarling and snapping coming from back over here. That was the one that bit Moon on the leg. Right? That's correct? Am I one short? Yes, that's the one that bit Moon on the leg. It is seeing that that's kind of a scrub over there, but it also sees that there's a bunch of people over here, so it is going to turn and try and attack Zaedrin, which I'm sure will go super, super well for it. Oops, that die. And it rolled a natural 1, so not only does it just miss, it like kind of does the thing when a dog gets too excited and runs and skids a little bit as it's trying to snap at one of these illusions of you and misses that as well. And with an embarrassed look upon its face, it will go ahead and once more just disappear into the dark mists of this forest. because there's only one of those little guys left. And now it is Zaedrin's turn.
You sons of bitches! You want my forest? Then come and fight me for it! And with that challenge issued, I am going to run up to Maathea and put my hand, I guess, aim for the shoulder, hit the elbow, and cast Cure Wounds at at second level.
Alright. Here. These dudes trailing you.
So that's gonna be a 8 plus 4 plus 4, 12 hit points back to you, and I just trying to say sorry about the shatter earlier.
It is no problem. It was a good call. It did lots of damage.
And you notice as I say that, all of my mirror images say it also at the exact same time, so there's this weird like echo effect going on.
Kind of just like looking at all of you and like not really sure where to make eye contact, and then just thing just kind of like turns her back, so like we kind of have the Avengers all fighting like back to back.
Yep. And I follow that same cue and just keep my eyes open, and I've kind of got my palms up with the lightning launchers, just waiting for the next one to show up.
Hey. And if that is Zaedrin's turn, we are back to the big boy, who moved around that top of that thing and is now here, but will launch forward, and just from like right out here will do just its horn attack to try and hit Maathea again. Come on, dice. Oh, that's on the ground.
Is it entering my melee? when
It
it's
was
doing
gonna
this?
stay 10 feet away.
Okay.
It sees you all standing there with weapons out. But it will also not hit, as it stayed too far away, and its horns sweep and just kind of glance across your chest armor. It will then go ahead and take... It'll take that step in and swipe at you. So yes, now you can release your attack upon it. And it will do 6. What's I don't think that's enough.
Only a 15 to hit.
15 just misses. But
Is it within 10 feet of Ashes? Tail does have reach.
yeah, you can go ahead and hit him.
That is a 23 to hit.
That will hit.
Wonderful. That is 6 points of piercing damage.
All right. And I'm still trying to 23 to hit you, Maathea.
That just hits.
Okay, so after just trying to stay out of reach with its only horn attack, it now has to come in and just where its horn sort of left that little bit of black mark, it just sinks its claws in and does 10 points of the slashing damage. But yeah, and then it's once again gonna try and disappear and move out of your way, which it would be an opportunity attack at disadvantage if you haven't used your reaction.
Okay, I will attempt to inflict wounds.
Okay, how you're being fancy.
Forecaster stuffs. Will miss.
Okay. So he moves away and is again invisible as this like darkness that's just so pervasive swallows up this gigantic creature, and you just hear him kind of like at this point panting in a very unhappy sort of dog way. Which will bring us then to Solar.
All right. Solar, seeing this thing continuing to go in and out of existence, kind of remembers like the flare of like wolf eyes, where they did the tiny little bit of light. And while they don't have sunlight or even the light spell, I think like the lightning that had come off of the shatter like starts to build up and up and up again. And I would like to use my breath weapon in kind of like a little bit of a weird way, where I just want to like very dragon style, just like arc across, just like across where it just was, and like just an arc around it with the cone to try to see if it hits anything. And I'm gonna use my absorb elements on that as well. So that would be first of all a dex save to see if this thing gets caught in it at all.
What is the distance or range?
That is a 30-foot cone.
Okay. So it's coming out to about right there, which is like almost exactly where he was. So you will just kind of connect with its face as it had been like moving away to try and reposition itself to hit something maybe a little bit squishier. It failed that dex save spectacularly. So do what you're gonna do.
Very well. Let me roll 5d6 really fast.
Solid.
And that is going to be 22 points of mixed lightning and thunder damage from the absorbed elements. As basically an entire lightning bolt comes out of Solar's throat and like lights this thing up completely.
Right. Yeah, this is like, this guy's been hit a few times, but this is the first time that it's really looked like this has hurt him. So you just kind of see that thing where this damage hits him and his whole body goes stiff as he sort of like rears back for a minute and then just slams back down onto the ground, panting more heavily. And there's sort of like an increase in that ichor, like coming from its eyes, and like any wound that it has is sort of just like the same sickly looking ooze. But yeah, so that was, you guys are making him regret some stuff. But since you were able to hit him, that'll leave him just kind of lit up as he is standing there with that lightning and thunder crackling off of his smoking form. Anything
Very
else?
nice. Yes, I did forget that Hunter's Mark gives me an additional 3 points of damage on top of that. And Solar will step forward in front of Moon, and as they talk, like this little wisp of like smoke or like storm cloud is kind of coming out of their mouth as they talk, and they go, "Don't touch my bear." And that's my turn. Thank you.
All right, excellent. So with that, we will go to Patches, who can now see this little guy behind him standing there.
Yeah, so with the with Solar sort of creeping forward with the spear, it's very much oh, I'm not the one you need to worry about type like visual, because as Solar's like creeping low, Patches just comes screaming over the top of them, and I just want to jump and attack this thing.
All right, so you will jump and you will slam into its chest as best you can. Roll to murder.
I'd say this attack sounds pretty reckless, right?
Yeah.
So that is a 24 for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 18 for the second one.
Also, yes.
And it will take 20 points of piercing damage from those two attacks.
Okay, so as you drive into it with your claws just hitting into its chest, it just punctures and it kind of like goes a little bit deeper in the way it does against like mummy flesh. And it lets out a roar of just abject rage and pain and tries to scrape you off. And it gets its claws, your claws out of it, but it is looking like it has seen better days in this hellscape forest.
Fantastic. Question, DM.
Yes.
In your games, can I attempt a grapple with an attack, or do I need an action to do that?
You can try and grapple.
Sure. I'm going to use my bonus action to spend my other key point, Flurry of Blows, and I will attempt to grapple it twice if need be. So this is contested strength check. I have advantage because I am so mad. That is a 17 for me.
30, 20, 16 plus 4.
Cool. I will attempt with my second Flurry of Blows attack.
Oh, no.
Try it again. This one is an 18.
Yeah, it was able to bat away your first attempt at trying to grab it, but as you come back in, it has just been very tired out, and you are able to wrap around it and grapple it into place.
Yeah, so I start out by like throwing out the arms, and it like snaps those away because that's the obvious part. And then the tail constricts around its midsection, and Patches smiles, and the eyes are like sort of kaleidoscoping. And that is my turn.
And this wolf is looking incredibly panicked. Its like eyes are doing a little bit of like flickering as it looks around and just wants to leave very badly. Maathea, would you like to help it leave?
I would love to. So, as I look over to my spiritual weapon and I send it over with my bonus action for it to hit, hopefully. Which is 18 to hit.
That will hit.
And that's 8 points of force damage.
And Maathea, how would you like to do this with your spiritual weapon?
Yeah, I look over to the spiritual weapon, and then just like with the motion of my head, I go looking at it and over to this large abomination, and just with the same speed of me moving my head, it goes flying at that like the proportional speed and just collides right across its bony head, kind of like breaking off the antler that it tried to gore me with so many times, and just like cracking into the skull and like sending a portion of that skull flying.
Yeah, and with that, it just kind of in Patch's grip goes to dead weight as its skull is just kind of like the over skull is just kind of hanging off, and one of its antlers is absolutely broken. And it last thing it does is kind of flicker in and out of existence, and then just lay there as a sad little desiccated dead guy corpse. We'll just leave him on his side. And you still have one guy who's. Anything else with your turn, Maathea?
Yeah, if there's one guy that's still invisible, where did we see its last appearance?
Over yonder somewhere.
I'll go walk, and I like kind of walk and get on the other side of Moon, just like pat her and just like kind of like running hand through the fur in a like, it's okay, I'm here, I've got you kind of way. And taking my mace and like just scraping it around me in a circle, and as I do, like sparks begin to ignite, and as I bring it up from the ground and swing it around myself, I cast Spirit Guardians, and the mace kind of visually turns into a hammer. And then I bring it down, and there's a glowing anvil in front of me, and it breaks and shatters into a million different little hammers and anvils all around, swirling all around me. And basically my comrades are immune to it.
Yeah.
Fucking sick.
And this wolf that was thinking it was slick moving back just a little, it's just as this light kind of engulfs that whole area, just its skull appears for half a second, because it also didn't have a lot of hit points left. It just looks so surprised as you can suddenly see every feature of these animals that have been playing in the dark so clearly, and it just sort of bursts into flames as this radiant light hits it, and the last of its hit points leave its little adorable wolf body. But also just, they're so cute. They're so cute. I'm putting them up here. I love them. But yeah, that is all of them. And with that, again, the forest just kind of falls into that sickly silence, except for that one crow who is just sitting in that tree still and sort of quirks and flies away.
As we exit initiative, I'd like to thrash this carcass in my tail around like a dog until my rage wears off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can thrash a carcass all day, I guess.
Big man. Leave the polar bear alone. Big
Alright.
Andy.
So now you are all standing in this clearing. We are out of initiative. There is still this disgusting pile of ichor. And you've been able to gather that if you get too close, it is an overwhelming, disgusting sort of smell that will hurt you a little, possibly. But there is a clearing that was once these wolves, and now you have cleared out.
As soon as it's clear that the creatures are gone and no more are going to appear out of the mist, Solar immediately pivots and goes like sprinting through the snow back toward Moon. I don't think they're very far at all, but they like turn and they immediately like come up to her and their hands go up, like checking her, like checking the ruff of her neck, checking her legs, like looking and inspecting the bite wounds very, very closely, specifically to see if there's any of that like black ichor in the wounds. There weren't any when Solar got bit by the rats, and there haven't been any for any of us so far, but they're like very kind of desperately checking and just kind of mumbling like under their breath.
Pardon me? Yeah, as you're checking, the wounds, it's more like a dirt situation. Like, you should probably clean these wounds, but they don't look like it's something that's instantly causing like necrotic stuff to happen to anyone. It's just real gross.
In that case, I almost said I was Moon. Solar will like pick some of the snow up still and like run it along just to start cleaning the wound off and to get the cold, almost like the cold compress on. Specifically around the big bite in her back leg and wherever the big guy like took a chunk out of her as well. Maathea, do you have anything?
Yeah, I can help clean the wounds. And how's she doing?
She said 13 out of 40 something.
I could why don't we take 10 minutes and like we can maybe Zaedrin go check around in the area. And
so picking up on Maathea's hesitation at that, I just walk up to Moon, start petting her, and with each pet, I just dump 3 castings of Cure Wounds at
I was
first
actually
level.
suggesting that I do a prayer of healing in 10 minutes, and then like, why don't you go inspect, like check for clues to see what's in the area.
All right, well then the second part of what I was going to do anyway, I'll just skip straight to. Bad an idea as this probably is long term, I'm going to go up to the pile of ichor in the middle there and cast Identify on it.
All right. It's pile of gross stuff. I mean, identify as like looking for more magical things than anything else, right? There's not anything magical about this pile. It is literally just a lot of dead things. And now that you're up close to it, just kind of like what I think Patches identified earlier, it's like all animals. It's mostly forest creatures. There's just like, it kind of feels like these wolves were just like hunting to hunt and bringing stuff back here. Like setting up a cache, but they don't seem like they were doing anything with it.
That is frighteningly bizarre.
Mm-hmm. What is the sort of range on? Identifies just one thing. Is it?
It's a range of touch, so I had to get like up, like right up in it.
Yeah. So it is. You have identified a pile of disgusting stuff. But if you want to make a Constitution saving throw, that'd be great.
Finally, a save I'm proficient in. And screw that. I'm going to use Flash of Genius to put 4 on that.
You're also still blessed, I believe.
No, I used that earlier. So
It's a concentration for me. It stays for everything.
cool. Okay, so then
But
12
it should
plus
be ending.
8. 12 plus 8 would be a dirty 20.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you definitely like stave off. Like you're kind of in there, and you're just like, you feel like you want to heave, but you sort of like lean back a little bit and just gasp at the slightly fresher air, and you like are like, okay, I got this. I can identify this pile of gross stuff, and you manage to stave off, I guess, poison.
All right,
But
and then
there wasn't a but. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, then I just back off and start scratching my head at this because this is weird. I would have, and I'm like thinking out loud at this point that I would have bet every piece of gold I have that they were actually doing something with this.
It's horrible. And now that Solar can tell that Maathea is like doing the song of, or not the song, the prayer of healing, they're like starting to become a little less frantic, although they're still kind of just like a concerned parent, like touching all over Moon, just like making sure that she's okay. But every time they look at the big pile, like this kind of dark, sad expression passes over their face. It's horrible. It's just violence for violence sake. It's completely unnatural. All of those wolves couldn't even eat this much food even if they wanted to. They're just killing the forest just to see it die.
I genuinely don't understand it. A pile like this, with the amalgamations we've killed so far, I would have sworn they were trying to amass something for under orders or under direction to build something even worse. But there's no magic, there's no focus, it's just this.
You are looking for a reason. There may not be one.
Are the animals whole, or are we just seeing parts? Like, are there things missing?
As you're looking, there are some whole animals. Like you can see a whole squirrel, and there's like a dead bird, and then there's like most of a deer. You can't say that you can't see that there's anything like specifically being harvested from these creatures. It is also, like I said, like you had the one wolf come and drag something up at the start, sorry. And that kind of looked like just like this dead bird that's on top, but you kind of gather that a lot of this is a little bit older. like they've been collecting this pile for a while, but also that what they have been putting on it has become less over time. Almost
Kind
like
of
they're
like they've
living
already hunted it. Mm. Yep.
Yeah.
Also 17 healing to anybody who needs it.
Is the
Bless you.
is the corpse of the really big, ugly one still around? Like, did they dust at all like the others, or are their corpses still hanging around?
Their corpses are still hanging around. So like the big ones over here, you kind of have like I think there was one that died here, and like over here, and then one more in the middle. Uh, they didn't dust the way the other ones did. Yeah.
Good. That's different. Different as a lead. This is good. And I walk over to the big one, and I want to take my time, and like I will physically peel this thing apart if I have to figure out what makes you different from everything else we fought so far.
All right. Do you want to do an Arcana or survival check, or if you can justify something else?
I will go Arcana, because this is, to Zaedrin's mind, this is whatever this is, it is clearly magical.
Mhm.
I want to double check Flash of Genius as well. Ability check or saving throw. So this would not count as, this is a skill check. So okay. 14.
These, you could tell a few things. These were obviously like pack animals and working in concert. They didn't seem like they were operating like outside of how they sort of naturally are supposed to be. So they're hanging out, but there's also something nagging you kind of in like the back of your mind. As they're laying here, there's something happening to them. They're not disappearing in a puff the way these like other controlled animals that you saw were, but they're kind of like if you solidified smoke and now that smoke was slowly letting out of their form.
Ding. Hey, Solar?
Yeah.
I think I got something here.
Oh, please don't tell me you want to touch it. And Solar walks over, looking a little like I don't want to do that.
They haven't disappeared like anything else, but I can still see this smoke stuff almost leaking out of them. You have any idea what this might be?
Solar tips their head and crouches down. I do have two favorite enemies, monstrosities and beasts. And I can have advantage checks to recall information about them. So Solar would be racking their brain for any kind of animated animals, monstrosities that run on things that aren't blood or smoke or anything like that.
All right, you can make the check at advantage, whatever that one is.
Let's see. That is a 17.
Okay. All right. You are sort of looking at these animals, and the smoke is, as Zaedrin pointed out, sort of coming off them. And as that smoke is coming off them, it kind of looks like it's disappearing into these shadows. And just like thinking about the shadows, jogs something in the back of your head, something that you've kind of only heard stories about because it's a kind of awful thing to summon, but it is maybe just like a different variety of shadow mastiff that you're looking at, which are things that are summoned. I will just read it. Shunning sunlight, these hounds are usually met as a pack. Some faith devoted to deities of gloom and night, such as Shar in the Forgotten Realms, perform unholy rites to summon shadow mastiffs to work as temple sentinels and bodyguards.
Huh. Solar kind of leans back on their heel. It's almost like a shadow mastiff, but it doesn't make sense because there's no... Is there a temple around here somewhere?
Not to anyone that I could think of helping with something like this.
And Solar kind of looks back at the meat pile. Maybe they were trying to build one.
Well, not on our watch, huh?
No, certainly not.
We should. As Solar mentions a temple, given, like, granted, you know, Maathea is a follower of Moradin, but given that she grew up in kind of more of a religious household, could I kind of like rack my brain to think about any kind of religious connections?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll that religion check. Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh my god, I am a cleric and I have a +0 to religion.
That's fine.
A 3, never mind.
Like, oh yes.
Battle cleric through and through.
Yep.
Large dog. Yeah, you're not remembering any more than Solar with that, but I mean, you did just get knocked around a bit, so it'll come back to you eventually. But in that moment, as the silence sort of stretches out, you hear kind of this little cough and like a light groan.
I
Moon?
immediately snap in the direction of that sound, lightning launcher ready to fire.
You're again not seeing anything, but it sounded very, very human. And it's coming from, since the map's still up, it's coming from like back over here.
Alright. I'm gonna go over and find out what it is.
All right, you will go over there and sort of like leaned up against this tree in a little bit of like a hollow. You recognize it's one of the 3 people that was following Elric around. And they are looking very rough, but have clearly also like gotten to this tree, and it's a relatively safe spot versus wherever else they were.
Oh, God damn it. Solar!
What? Do you want me to touch more of something?
I found one of your friend's friends.
I said that he's not my... Fuck.
I'm gonna... Do they look like still actively injured?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like this person didn't move during that battle, which would have been a great time to run away when everything in the forest was distracted. They are
Yep.
injured enough where they are just leaning against this tree, kind of almost dozing.
As Solar is coming up, I'm gonna bend down and hit him with a Cure Wounds. 10 points of HP back to them.
All right, they look significantly better. They still have like a huge like gaping wound, like something got them in the neck. They have like the better part of an arrow kind of sticking out of their shoulder from the back, and just their eyes sort of focus for a second, and they like reach for their sword that's at their side and sort of like push back against the tree and go, it's you people. Oh fuck. And sort
You're
of
welcome.
Well, thank you. I guess. I mean,
Come on, let's get you up. My hand.
they hesitate for a minute and then take your hand and allow themselves to be pulled into an upright position. Well, at least you're still alive. Better than I can say for that stupid little boy. referring to Elric very obviously. And he's just like holding this absolutely tattered coat that was so nice like a day and a half ago is just ripped to shreds as he's like trying to sort of like staunch any further bleeding from his wounds.
All of the color goes out of Solar's face so fast. What? What did you just say?
Your friend, who you said shouldn't go out here or he would get himself killed, nearly got us all killed. I think got everyone but me killed.
You think?
Well, I do think we were all running, but he just wouldn't be quiet. We were so close to town, and we were trying to get a lay of the land, see what was happening there, and we got very little picture of it before his big mouth got us all nearly killed. I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
Did you see him die?
He got grabbed by a wolf, but not like. He sort of like puts his hands up and just goes, but like a big wolf, like
that big? And I point back to the one that we killed.
He might have had a chance if that had been the wolf. This is different. This is worse. This is the town. We thought it was empty. And he's clearly like, now that he's like thinking about stuff, like kind of going back into shock a little bit.
Hey, stay with me, okay? Look at me. Look in my eyes, okay? One thing at a time. Bigger than that.
Yes, bigger, factually bigger than that. I've seen a lot of stuff in my life. Me and my friends had traveled around a lot up here, and I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like this other wolf either, but...
Okay, come on. Let's get you back to the rest of our group. And at this point, Solar, you especially notice that now the color is starting draining from Zaedrin's face as well.
Solar kind of lingers back by the tree for a minute, and like once this person has turned away, like they let just like this little flash of grief pass over their face. They look up. Why couldn't you keep your damn mouth shut, Elric? And then they sigh and kind of start somberly going actually like around toward where Patches is, looking for their friend.
And I'm kind of leading the guy more towards Maathea.
He's walking, but he's got like a dragging his leg a little bit and just like following you. He doesn't really have an opinion about stuff at this point.
I will take a look at him and... Well, you appear to be walking, but... how are you doing?
Fucking terrible. They took the Elric. Should have been out here in the first place, and he kind of like draws back into himself. But
I mean, we kind of tried to say something about that back in the tavern, but...
if it had just been the three of us, we would have done a lot better. But he just wouldn't be quiet. And he just sort of like grabs the sides of his head. But he got grabbed by that wolf. And then they started firing arrows at us. There were birds and there were arrows.
Wait, there were birds?
Yeah, a few crows, I guess. Raven, I don't know, corvids, like the black ones. Just except they look sick. But everything out here looks sick, so I guess that's not too different.
The arrows, though. That's extremely different.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect when we got into Kilhorn, but we were trying to stop a little further away and get a lay of the land. We crept up. Didn't see anything. It was still. It looked like most people had left, kind of like the loggers camp, but that's when Elric decided that he knew best and was in charge and we could just walk into town, and we were trying to stop him, and we got about 100 paces in with him sauntering in front, and then just from between two houses, this gigantic, like it was just a wolf, but it was cute. It was the size of a house, the size of I don't know. It was a huge wolf, and that one grabbed him, but then it disappeared on the other side of the road between two other buildings.
You said this happened in Kilhorn.
Yeah, we thought we could find, that's where someone was saying the source of stuff was, so we went there hoping we could find evidence. We didn't think anyone would be there anymore, but it couldn't have been many people, but a few.
You are saying that my home is the source of this?
And he pauses and kind of looks at you and goes, there's something going on there more than we were able to get. They're protecting one structure. It looked like there's maybe something going on there, but when we got close enough, it just turned into a bloodbath. There's not, like I said, it looks like most people left. There's not many people there, but there was a few who just
describe as best you can. Ignore everything else associated with that memory and just describe the structure to me in as much detail as you can.
He'll sort of take a second, just rub his face, put it in his hands, and be like, do any of you have booze? No.
Yeah, I've got that. And we'll pull out a flask.
And he will down half the flask and hand it back to you and just go it was the middle, in the center of town. It had to have been the equivalent of the Longhouse back in Glavgar. Just everything else felt cold and abandoned, as though there hadn't been anyone there in a long time, but that one had a strange smoke coming from the building, and once we saw that, the three of us got more cautious, and Elric thought he would, walk in there and make a declaration, I guess, and his blue coat would save his life, and it obviously didn't, but yeah. It's
the smoke you saw. I'm assuming before you got there, you killed. Pick your monstrosity. It burst into smoke when it died?
Yeah.
Did you say the smoke coming from the building was the same?
And he really racks his brain on this one, as though he's never seen any smoke before, and he goes, no, I think that's just where the last people were, and that was just a fire smoke. But and he sort of like points at the fact that he is clearly just like a fighter. But I don't know magic smokes real well, so that might be on me.
That's fine. Don't. Would I actually know what building he's talking about based on his description?
Yeah, it sounds like he's talking about the equivalent of the Long Hall. It's just like the center of town. It is the largest building, and it seems from what he is describing that whoever is there has holed up in there for whatever nefarious purposes they are nefariousing.
I don't know what it's worth from me, but thanks. And I kind of pat him on the shoulder and I go off and I start actually taking off my armor, pulling out my smith's tools, and just start working on it.
This guy again looks very scared now that you've like started making a lot of noise and is like, uh, uh, do you, I'm not gonna go back to that town. Do you need me anymore?
If you're not going back, then just don't die on your way back to Glavger.
Well,
And
we'll see.
and I'm gonna take the rest of this time, short rest equivalent, to switch my armor model from infiltrator to guardian.
All right, this guy will absolutely start like making his way back through the woods. He's probably looking for like a place to hole up for the night, but he is kind of also taking the tack that you guys took in, where he's like very clearly trying to get to the edge as quickly as possible. He might make it. He's a dude. He's a dude on his own in the forest. So good luck, buddy. But yeah, like the second he started making noise, he was like instantly super uncomfortable and like had to go. He was like, I'm not staying for any more shenanigans. This is some stuff. But yeah, you guys have a little more information. You're about a half day from Kilhoran right now.
I think Solar makes their way over to Patches to see how they're doing. They knew that it's not the first time Patches has had to thrash something like long after it's dead in order to be okay, but as like the rage is coming down, Solar kind of shakes off this information about Elric, like pushes those very complicated feelings kind of down to the bottom of their subconscious and focuses on like what's most important in this moment, which is to see if their friend is okay. And they approach kind of slowly. Patches?
Yes.
How are you doing?
That's a hard question to answer. I'm feeling a lot of things. The primary one being responsible for all of this, if it is that man, I should have killed him before now.
It's not your fault, Patches. You've been trying. I've been with you. We've both been trying. And maybe now we'll get our chance. I just want to make sure that when we do, that you're okay.
I don't think I will be. I have thousands of voices crawling, begging to be greed, their thirst aching to be quenched underneath every stitch on my body. And a lot of them don't want to be Patches. They agreed to be Patches to kill him. That is all that matters. How I feel.
Thank you for telling me.
I am sorry your friend is dead.
Like I said, he's not really my friend. And when Solar says that, it's clear that they don't really mean it, but they're putting it away, pushing it down, putting it to the side.
Take Solar's hand and press it against their chest and say, as someone who struggles to feel anything but a blinding rage, please do not suppress your feelings, my friend. You would miss them if they were gone.
Thank you, Patches. And if it's okay, Solar will also bring Patches into a tight hug.
Yeah.
And when they pull away, they look at Patches very, very intently. Like, it's one of those rare moments where Solar, like, is really looking at you. I know that this is what all of you want and need to be okay. And I want it for you too. But I hope that I get to meet a Patches after. And we can ride Moon and figure out who we're gonna be. Not defined by whatever this horrible thing is.
I hope I can meet that person as well.
And with that, as you hear Zaedrin just slamming his hammer against his armor in the background, and Maathea doing whatever Maathea is, will zoom out of that scene and come back to you all next time on the Blighted North.
Yay!
Yes,
Drama!
so we have information. All right, but we will go around and do our shout outs. We're trying to go a little shorter, but like we made it. Starting with, we'll go, I think Zach was last time, so Zach.
As before, my name is Zach. I go by the gaming author everywhere on the internet that I can be found. I have been Zaedrin Moonforge tonight, and oh boy. Oh, next week is going to be fun. Next week is going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm going to go pass this off to C.
Ah! Why did I suddenly, like, not know how to turn my mic on? Hi, everyone. My name's C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharpArt. If you liked what I did here tonight, you'll like what I do other places. Specifically, I will be shouting out Transplaner RPG. If you don't know, Transplaner is an all-transgender person of color led 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition actual play live stream. We have almost 3 years worth of content going, and we are on the final 2 episodes of our main first flagship campaign, which is super exciting. I was crying earlier while I was editing the VOD for this week. It's super polished, very tight editing, huge story, lots of ways to catch up, podcast forum, YouTube, recap document if you like a written thing. So it'd be great to see y'all in chat for our last 2 episodes. It's, we're just fighting the entire concept of Oblivion, fate, and magic itself. So that's like super normal and super gay. So it would be great to see you. And I will pass it back to Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess, or Jessica. You can find me on the things and the stuff as Dr. Psych Owl, except for on Twitter, where I'm Dr. Psych Owl TV. I have played Maathea, our Goliath Forge Domain Cleric, this evening. who had a little bit of a rough go, but that was fun. Good shit, Kai. But yeah, I will pass it over to D.
Well, hello, my lovely children of the dark. My name is D. I'm a professional voice actor, streamer, musician, GM all over the interwebs, and I want to talk to you about something that's going to be happening Friday. On Friday, you can return here to GutPunchRP, where you can find a handful of destinies intertwined in the world of modern day Meneas, a land with technology and no magic, in order to begin a heist that may or may not cost them their souls. I am going to be the GM of the lovely Blades in the Dark quick short form campaign called Remnants of Cerulean here on GutPunchRP. We're going to start at 7 Central. As with all things on GutPunchRP, you're going to want to be here for it, because if you haven't seen me run a game before, it's going to get really meta in a lot of ways. And it's going to be fun. So come hang out.
Already promised character death in the first episode, so.
Yes!
All right, well that's me, right?
Yeah.
All right, hello, I am Kai. I have been your game master this evening. You can find me on the internet at Kyola Creative. Kyola_creative is my username places. I will be here on Friday, probably being the character that gets murdered. We'll see. Otherwise, every other Friday I'm over on No Fame Podcast, where we're doing a little cyberpunk, which is also super fun. But I think we have like an extra 2 weeks off or something. I don't know. I'll check the schedule. We'll share it. But yes, thank you so much for joining us for this slightly shorter episode, because we got some stuff going on next week that's gonna be tough. But we are maybe doing a raid. Anyone?
The Mandy. Playing some D&D.
There you go. We are raiding the Mandy, so go stick around for that. Give them a little shout in the chat, and we will see you all next week for more The Blighted North.